I'd like to share some tips to reduce the risk of falling victim to scams and identity theft. Criminals may buy your credit card and personal information on the darknet for a small fee or use a skimmer, which is a device that is added to an existing card reader, such as an ATM at the cash register or on a gas pump and so on, which allows them to record all the data shared during your transactions, including account numbers, cards, pins, and more, which they can then use to steal your money. Security breaches of companies, including credit bureau Equifax, have caused the leak of private information on millions of consumers in the U.S. alone, and these problems continue to happen. There are also other types of technology that can read your public usage of a public Wi-Fi system or can scan your personal cards, your credit cards, your debit cards, just by being near you, and can even, if your phone is close enough to their phone, they can even make a copy of everything on your phone while it's next to theirs. Some thieves prefer to go through your mail and or your garbage to find important information. Many things that arrive in the mail and much of what you send out contains information that they can use to invade your privacy, steal your private information for identity theft, or even gain access to your financial accounts. Hackers employed by Russia, North Korea, China, Iran, and other countries, as well as criminals, work hard to get your data, which is why the Trump administration is forcing the sale of U.S. assets of TikTok to protect Americans from identity theft. What should you do? This isn't an exhaustive list of things you can do to reduce your risk, but it'll help. Choose what you want. I've tried to break them down into different categories, although some really fit multiple categories. Number 1, remove yourself from mailing and calling lists. I've done pretty much all of these, and I now rarely see junk mail or get phone calls, even from the scammers. So that banks can stop sending you pre-approved credit card and insurance offers from the consumer credit reporting industry. That includes Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and Innovis. Call 888-5-OPT-OUT. That's 1-888-567-8688. I found it difficult to complete, especially when inputting my address, which it got wrong. The system always turned my street name into something bizarre. So many times, it finally just recorded me saying my address. And you may also go to their website to opt out, or in at optoutprescreen.com. That's optoutprescreen.com. You can choose either to opt out for 5 years or permanently. Stop online advertisers from tracking you online by opting out via the Network Advertising Initiative, which you can get to via networkadvertising.org/choices. Also, opt out of interest-based advertising, which is the IBA, at optout.networkadvertising.org/?C=1. Get off commercial U.S. email lists from the DMA at www.ims-dm.com/CGI/opt-out-emps.php. The DMA will send an email to each email address you register, and you must click the included link within 30 days in order to be opted out. I believe that is the one that also will send a postcard requesting that you confirm the opt-out. Put yourself on the National Do Not Call Registry at donotcall.gov/index.html, or call 1-888-382-1222, or if you're hard of hearing, for TTY is at 1-866-290-4236. This will get rid of most sales calls, but nothing else, and certainly not from unscrupulous sellers, con artists, and other criminals. Contact after you sign up is almost definitely from unscrupulous companies and criminals, so you can feel safe to hang up on them. You can also report scam calls to the FTC this way. If you're actively reporting these illegitimate calls, emails, etc. to the authorities, it helps them to find and stop criminals. Report. Number 2. Report online scams to other agencies such as the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, or IC3, at www.ic3.gov/complaint/default.aspx. If someone who says they are from the Social Security Administration calls, do not give them money or personal information and hang up. That holds true for the FBI, the IRS, and other government agencies as well. Report the scam to the Social Security Administration's fraud team at oig.ssa.gov. Keep your eye, number 3, keep your eye on your financial pulse. Get a free copy of your credit report each year at websites like Annual Credit Report, which is annualcreditreport.com, and Free Score Online, which is freescoreonline.com, or from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Lesser credit bureaus like Innovis, PRBC, SageStream, and ARS are not listed there. And check it for errors and indications of fraud. Studies over the past 25 years have consistently shown that credit bureaus make a lot of errors. Also, note that third-party companies that provide credit and or criminal background checks are not required to provide your information, yet may have made errors. Use an app like Credit Karma, based on data from TransUnion and Equifax, which you can get on the Apple Store and on the Google Play. All these, I think, pretty much. Credit Sesame, which is based on data from Experian. Credit, based on data from Experian. Credit Wise, based on TransUnion data. Intuit's Mint, based on data from Equifax. Experian's app and TransUnion's app. Note that none of these show you your FICO score, and most are based on data from only one of the big 3. Most of these apps have no or minimal fees. Check your financial statements monthly for purchases you didn't make and immediately report it to your your credit union or bank or credit card company. Oh, by the way, some of those apps I mentioned also have the ability to help you to contest incorrect things on your credit statement. And in addition, the best time to file a complaint is during the winter holidays. Number 4, I think we're on right now. Mail. To avoid the risks of mailbox theft, use a locked mailbox and make sure that it doesn't have a standard lock and key, a universal key. More information can be found here at What the Lock Industry Doesn't Want You to Know, which is on my steemit.com blog. And it's titled, like I said, What the Lock Industry Doesn't Want You to Know. Don't drop bill payments and such in an insecure mailbox and put the flag up. Instead, drop your payments into a government mailbox or take them to the post office or pay online. That'll keep identity and credit card thieves from getting info, card numbers, and checks they can duplicate, or getting the info they need to set up accounts in your name that you pay for but they use. Just because it's a federal crime to tamper with the mail doesn't mean that criminals won't do it. Number 5, credit and debit cards. When typing in a password at an ATM, on a card reader, or in a public place, always block the view so that people nearby with high-powered cameras, people behind you, and others cannot see what you type in. Also, when using an ATM, card reader, or gas pump, inspect the card scanner and keyboard area to make sure they're not actually a skimmer added on by criminals. They'll be made to look like they belong, but you may notice similarities. Skimmers allow you to complete transactions while recording your card info and PIN, which the thief later retrieves. Instead of signing your card, write "Check ID, please" in the signature field on the back. Even better, get your cards with your phone photo on them permanently. If you have a smart chip card, buy a skimmer blocker to put inside of. These are cases that prevent scanning. A criminal can walk by you and quickly scan your card in less than a second as long as they're close enough, which I mentioned earlier. Number 6, Internet. If there's a link to follow, make sure you look carefully at the spelling. For example, if Facebook is spelled without an E in it, it's not Facebook. And the full name of the site, if it's got www.facebook.got.com or payments.paypal.financialrules.com or wellsfargo.timeforinvesting.com or purchases.online.coles.buyingfrenzy.net. Only the last 2 parts of the URL matter. All of those examples I gave you are false websites that will rob you. Savvy criminals will work online using various types of programs to keep track of your whereabouts. They love it when you post your schedule, pictures of your keys and home, location announcements, and more, so they know when it's going to be safe to enter your home. Therefore, don't let most apps have access to your location. Don't post anything about your schedule, upcoming vacation, and announcements about where you are or will soon be. Don't post pictures of any of your keys. If the photo is good enough, they'll be able to use it to make a copy. Don't post pictures or a video tour of your home, which effectively gives them a map and helps them to know the layout of your house, what's valuable, and where to look for hidden valuables, which will greatly reduce the time they have to be inside, or need to be inside, actually. Don't use the same password on numerous websites, devices, and cards. Use anti-tracking browser extensions, add-ons, plugins, and apps. Another article you can read is How to Live Without Google, Alternatives that Protect Your Privacy. This is at spreadprivacy.com/how-to-remove-Google. Turn off Google tracking you and other stuff. There are multiple articles on this. LifeWire has one called Google Sees Everything You Do. Here's how to stop that. On 10forums.com. Turn on or off clear browsing data on exit for current user in Microsoft Edge settings. On also 10 forums. Firefox. How do I turn on the Do Not Track feature? And on support.apple.com, prevent cross-site tracking in Safari on Mac. You can find all this stuff in my blog article that I'm reading to you right now. Alternatively, you can open a special private or confidential or incognito browsing window that doesn't allow tracking in some browsers. You can also download the Tor browser, which is supposedly totally anonymous, which supposedly totally anonymous. Man, oh man. You can also download the Tor browser, which supposedly anonymizes your browsing from snooping third parties. Keep in mind that all devices and browsers are subject to surveillance by governments and companies, no matter what they tell you to the contrary. Use anonymous search engine DuckDuckGo, which doesn't track what you search for and doesn't save your search history, unlike most other search engines. Disable third-party cookie usage in your browser. Only use add-ons that you know are trustworthy, because many companies that make them now use them to spy on you and then sell the personal or aggregate data to other companies. Read Common Sense Media's Your Family Has a Right to Privacy Online. Even if you don't live in California, learn about the CCPA. Use the CCPA, or California Consumer Privacy Act, to protect your personal information. Some companies are applying it to people from other states. When you get messages online via a pop-up on your computer that you weren't expecting, don't click on them except to click the X button. Some of these messages are designed to trick you into giving criminals the right to install malware on your computer. If you get a message in your email, text messages, or via social media, be careful about any links. Carefully inspect the link's address for flaws, such as a misspelled company name or website address, such as, like before, Walgreens.com instead of Walgreens.com. An email address that isn't to the company's name is also a hint. For example, gmail.com instead of at fbi.gov. If someone sends you a message that doesn't include a typical greeting and a description, but has an image or link to follow, ask them what it is. If they don't answer, don't touch it. There's a chance that their account was hacked. Contact them another way and try to verify. Limit the information you share online about yourself. Anything about current or future plans that will take you away from your home, what your normal work schedule is like, or anything else a criminal would want to know about that would make it easier to find the best times to enter your domicile. Some thieves only enter to steal sensitive information or go through your garbage and take things from your mailbox. Never post information that is typically used for identity verification, such as date of birth, mother's maiden name, social security number, or for security questions. For example, what was your first pet's name? Don't tell them that. Make up something and write it down. Where did you go to elementary school? What was your first car? In addition to any other information that might be used in a sensitive context. This information is surreptitiously collected not only by governments and their agencies, but also by some companies, as well as criminals. Number, 6, I think? This article which is on rd.com/advice/things-smartphones-know-about-you. Explains how phones track stuff about you. Don't take photos with location tracking turned on because that data can be used by criminals to find out where you go, including your children's frequently visited places. Only use apps that you know are trustworthy because many companies that make or distribute them now use them to spy on you and then sell the personal or aggregate data, or even worse, rob you. If someone sends you a message that doesn't include a typical greeting and a description, but has an image or a link to follow, ask them what it is. If they don't answer, don't touch it. There's a chance that their account was hacked. Contact them another way and try to verify, or at least leave a message on that account to let them know. When you get a call and it sounds like a computer is talking, or you can tell it's a computer because its responses are too simplistic or are often incorrect, it's best to hang up because robocalling is illegal in the U.S. except for political and charity calls. If an unknown person calls and leaves voicemail from a known company, agency, or governmental department, never trust the number they leave or even the number you see displayed. They can set up a fake phone number and now even spoof names, or even trick your phone into displaying an official phone number. Always look up the number in the phone book or online and find it yourself to make sure you're not calling a scammer back. If you've got time, keep scammers communicating with you while you either contact the authorities or make them waste their time. I had fun once wasting the time of some Mexican free vacation scammers. If someone calls you on the phone, keep them on the phone as long as you have time for, and then at the end, don't buy anything. Just end the call. Common scams include student loan forgiveness, car warranty, the IRS is going to prosecute you, free overseas vacation, they usually mention a famous hotel that you booked at, an unexpected call about your computer where they claim they will fix something broken or hacked, and many, many, many more. Number, 7? Garbage and recycling. Shred any documents you throw out that contain anything sensitive, like credit card and debit card information, bank and credit union information, date of birth, where you were born, historical information commonly used for security purposes, and so on. Okay, next one. Miscellaneous stuff, okay? Research. Some YouTubers do this to specific categories of criminals, such as tech support scammers, con artists who target the elderly, and more, and then share their recordings on their channel so you can see the tricks these scum use to relieve you of your money and identity. You can learn a lot from watching these games of wit. Con artists have weaknesses too, such as pride and arrogance, overinflated sense of self, feeling mentally superior, feeling entitled to what others have, and greed, to name a few. Push the right buttons and you'll throw them off. When you make decisions, don't do it based on your emotions. You'll almost always regret it. Read this Reader's Digest article on identity theft at rd.com/advice/saving-money/identity/thief-secrets to learn ways that they get access to your identity. Do you know of any other tips that would help? Let me know and I'll add them into my article. Thank you so much, and I hope that you're going to be safer now.